what better time to start an evening vlog than when a storm is rolling in? So I wanted to chat. I want this to be cozy, mood lighting. I don't know. I have my book light on right there, so that could be a horrific lighting angle. To read you a little something from this book that I read this morning, because I have had quite the year so far and it hasn't been my favorite. The things that have been good have been really good. Like every time I've been in the UK with Swiss, I was so scared. This is hanging out of my shirt and I was like, what is it? Okay, it's my necklace. Very briefly, someone said to me the other day, like, I thought you were thriving. And I was like, yeah, I guess my social media seems that way. You know how they say like social media is a highlight reel, especially Instagram, I guess. I'm not intentionally trying to make it a highlight reel. I just like can't and don't want to post about the things that are more difficult in my life. So I've been going through it this week. I felt like a shell of a human and I just want to be honest and real about that. But I read this passage that really helped me out. Life will break you. Nobody can protect you from that, and living alone won't either. For solitude will also break you with its yearning. You have to love. You have to feel. It is the reason you are here on earth. You are here to risk your heart. You are here to be swallowed up. And when it happens that you are broken or betrayed or left or hurt or death brushes near, let yourself sit by an apple tree and listen to the apples falling all around you in heaps, wasting their sweetness. Tell yourself that you tasted as many as you could. This was very helpful for me because I was thinking that like I just want to escape and be alone and like a cottage in the middle of the forest. And then I read that and I was like, you know what though, like the problems will follow you there too. Although it would be a nice mental break. I also just got my nails done. I did white chrome again because that's kind of my favorite. So was the silver, but the silver chipped really fast. So that's that. And I thrifted these 2 bracelets the other day. What else can I catch you guys up on? Okay, let's talk about the storm is rolling in. I got sent home early from work today. It was 44 degrees Celsius here in Toronto area. At my job for a very long time and I've never been sent home for heat and I've never seen temperatures like this in my life. So yeah, climate change. Anyways, the passage I just read from this book is called Obscure Sorrows, and one of my best is the dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. One of my best friends got me this for my birthday and it's just really cool. Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows defines new words for emotions that we all feel but don't have the right language to express. Is my dad calling me? One sec. Did you call me?
Pardon?
Did you call me?
Yeah, I'm just saying the storm's coming.
Oh yeah, I'm watching.
Okay.
He knows I'm excited about it. I also have to meal prep, get ready for work and all that stuff. Okay, currently picked up The Count of Monte Cristo again. I know this is like a crime, but I read the first 200 pages and then I put it down, which I don't know how because at no point in this story do I feel like there's a lull so far. I'm now on page 313. Quite a bit of it over the last 24 hours and I think it was just the size of it that intimidated me, if I'm being so real with you. Like I read quite a bit and I'm only that far. It's like, how is that even possible? I think there's I'm not being very well spoken right now. I feel like I sound a little Valley Girl. Whatever. There's about 1,300 pages in this, so nothing wrong with Valley Girl accent. I am in for a treat, but I think I see this book everywhere and people say that the story is incredible, one of the best books and stories ever done, ever written, so I'm really enjoying it and I'm happy I picked it back up. I was reading The Starless Sea, but I literally lost it. I went to the beach one day with my grandparents and my parents and I haven't seen it since, and I know I brought it home. I'm like pretty certain. So anyways, yesterday I finished The Fall by Albert Camus. This is definitely my favorite I have read. No, is that biased? I think I've only read 2. I liked this more than The Stranger and the Outsider by far. I have so much to say about this, but I think I'm going to dedicate a video to it. And then I also found a podcast that talks all about books. I'll show you in a sec. My next read, I haven't started this one yet, but I got Nausea by Jean-Paul. I'm so sorry, I'm English. I'm not going to say this name very well. So I got this because I am very into existentialism right now, as you can tell by the books I'm reading. Sorry, I have so much to tell you guys, and then I promise we'll get to doing stuff. But you know, like I always say, that wind is crazy. I love yappy vlogs personally, especially when it comes to like books and all things cozy. I just love watching stuff like that. I think this is a very popular one, so I'm not trying to say like I discovered this, but Philosophize This. And yeah, I listened to an episode on The Fall by Albert Camus, and then there was a second one that also included The Fall and kind of like compared his work to Kafka, I never know which way is right to say it. So it's really interesting to me because I kind of like geek out a little bit. Because for me, like, classic authors are kind of like my celebrities, like when they compare works of each other and like talk about how, for example, I forget the order of it. Dostoevsky ended up inspiring like a lot of artists later on in life. The fact that they knew who this person was in their lifetime and then drew inspiration from that, and then I get to read all of it. It's just really fun. I could have gone to school for literature. And that's another thing. I've been heavily into school, and I just want to say, in high school, I finished my last, it's like senior year or grade 12 year with like a 50 average because my mental health was so bad I like didn't go to school. But my average in school right now for my diploma is a 93. So I'm proud of that because I think there were times like I thought maybe people thought I was stupid, and I'm like, I swear I'm not stupid, I just don't apply myself because my mental health is so bad. So anyways, the rain should be starting any minute now, and we have to decide what I should meal prep because I'm not sure. It took so much longer than I thought. I just like meal prepped and got ready for work for the next 2 days. I was just listening to a podcast and cooking, getting my stuff ready. And I think because I'm in school, I've been eating a lot more like whole foods, which I really like. The storm was a little underwhelming. It didn't last very long. This book, The Fall by Albert Camus, is so interesting. One of the points that stood out to me is he almost starts to think of himself as like a caricature of a person. And so he thinks if you judge this character, then you're not really judging me. And you know, this book, like, I think it's only 100 pages. It's like less than 100 pages, but it was so impactful for me. Like, I think I will reread this. The character just comes off as like so arrogant, but it's also at some point so honest that you're like, wait a second. And so this podcast I listened to today was saying how, you know, obviously as humans we all have morals, but sometimes situations come up that test your moral compass. So it's hard to say like, I will always help someone in this sort of situation. Like, for example, with our protagonist here, which pretty much is the whole book, is just him telling a story. Like, we don't even actually see dialogue of anyone replying to him or challenging him. Sees this woman jump off of a bridge, and he debates going in to help her or not, and he doesn't, and instead just avoids reading the newspaper for days on end to see what happened to her, if she survived or not, because I think he felt guilty, but not guilty enough to jump in and help her. Then I also think at the same time, like, if you're not trained as a lifeguard, like, can you really jump in and save someone's life anyways? But he just kind of avoids it altogether. So if you were to say, I would always help someone in need, and then that happens and you choose not to help them, it's like, well, not always then. And so this book just kind of grapples with this idea of like, yes, we have our moral compass, but sometimes certain situations make us break that moral compass, and it starts to get you thinking about yourself, of course, as these novels do. And I'm like, well, what would I do in this scenario? What would I do in this other scenario he mentions? And he also says so many of our friendships are just based on self-serving means around ourselves with people who kind of affirm what we already think. So this podcaster gave the example, you know, get into an altercation with someone at the grocery store and you tell your friend, you pretty much always want your friend to be like, oh, whatever, like, screw them, they're a rude person, like, don't even think about it. Meanwhile, they only heard your side of the story and your argument. Now, can some things be objectively, you know, wrong? Like, I've dealt with people in customer service and I'm like, okay, objectively, this customer is just very emotionally unwell and rude. But in some scenarios, we may reach a point where, you know, we kind of just want our friends to affirm what we think and what we feel. And when he first brought that point up, I was like, I don't think that's true. Like, I think my friends challenge me. And then he started giving examples like that in the podcast, and I was like, yeah, that does actually make sense. I'm open to being challenged, but I also don't have like some crazy ego like this guy would, because he said like he just didn't even think it was possible people were judging him. Like he thought he was just so above everyone. Not as though there's more depth to him than that, because I'd say that is kind of how he thinks and how he feels. Yourself relating to him at some points, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a little crazy. But that's why these are classics, because they make you think and they challenge your beliefs. I only saw superiority in myself, which explained my benevolence and peace of mind. I underlined so much from this, so I can't wait to talk more about this. I keep vlogging and somehow, look at my cute little teacup, running out of storage on my memory card. I keep taking files off of this, so I don't know why it keeps filling up. So this wasn't much of a nighttime vlog as much as it was just random chat. This is mullein leaf tea. It is good for congestion and things like that. I have allergies. I was a little bit congested last week, and yeah, this stuff is very good. I started some laundry, so it's one of those like adulting kind of days, which always make me feel really good, because also, was it yesterday? Yesterday, I deep cleaned everything and just like got my life together kind of day. Tell me what you're reading right now and what I should read after the Count of Monte Cristo. It's probably going to be my project book, and I think my next project book is going to be the Brothers Karamazov. I hear people say it differently all the time. But let me know in the comments below if you are Russian and can pronounce it properly for me. Let me know which one was right. Is it Karamazov or Karamazov? Or neither of those two. I think that'll be my next one, because it's another book I feel is deemed the best book of all time, and so many book talkers I love say it's their favorite book, so I think that one will be next. And I read Crime and Punishment last December when I was doing my dance contract, so I think to have like another Dostoevsky on the go for my dance contract will be just so nostalgic and fun. Today was such a nice day though, because I called Swiss Man and we talked for a bit, and that was really nice. And like I said he's been in Switzerland for a little bit, and I was back in England, and I was like, your accent gets thicker. Well, I didn't say this, I just said your accent sounds thicker, and he was like, thank you. But I think when he goes back to Switzerland, I swear his accent gets a little bit thicker. And I think it's so cute. And so talking to him today was really nice, and you know, it's hard also with our time difference and stuff always to call, so it was good. And then I also had a call with one of my best friends, Carolyn, so we just like caught up on some things and chatted, and then I went to my nail appointment. So it was a good day, and I've been a little in like, I get kind of antisocial in the summer, because I find the summer extremely social. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like everyone wants to hang out, everyone wants to go places, and I work like the most in the summer. I'm working kind of like 3 jobs right now, so it's just been really exhausting. And on top of that, then everyone wants to hang out, so it's like a lot of work, a lot of social, and I'm an introvert, more so in the middle, but closer to introvert, I would say. I get recharged around people I love, but even then sometimes I just really need to be alone. So yeah, I would say I get a little bit exhausted by people easily, and when I'm working all these like jobs around people all the time, it's really tiring. Again, my goal is still a remote job so that I can go work in the UK for a bit and like work here, but we'll see. Does mullein leaf tea taste the best? No, I wouldn't say so, but it's very good for you. And yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm in school for nutrition, so that's going really well. I've just been grinding away. I'm about to finish nutritional symptomatology. I always have trouble saying symptomatology because I used to call it symptomology. So I'm almost done that course, which is great, and I just got a 98% on my presentation. I had to pretend I had a client and teach them about a body system, so I was a little nervous for that grade to come back, but I'm really proud of it, and I worked hard on it, so that's good. But I have a lot of like big assignments for this course, so it might take me a little while to finish those. People are like, how do you work 3 jobs? I'm like, I don't have a choice, because I'm in school, I make music, and then just like life. Like, I just look at her all the time. I wake up to it. It's so pretty. I'm gonna say that if you are struggling a little bit, like I am right now, or a lot, to hang in there. And I think that's why I've been very drawn to existentialist texts at the moment, because I'm feeling existential, because I'm, you know, growing up and so much is changing around me, so much is happening, and people are getting married, having kids, people are experiencing hardship, and there's just so much happening. And when you're an adult, I think one of the hardest things is to be going through so much and then just get up and go to work, and you have to keep going. Sometimes that's just exhausting, and it feels like you're always just trying to like hold it together. You learn to compartmentalize really well. Sometimes the distractions are nice, like sometimes when I'm going through a lot, I'm like grateful to be at work, but lately I've just been like really mentally exhausted. Yeah, you know, it's hard to kind of like keep going, and for me this year has just kind of felt like one thing after another. So if you see me, you know, doing really well in school, making music, releasing music, and doing all these things, it's like, yes, I am doing that, and that part of my life isn't fake or a highlight reel. When I'm in England, I genuinely am that happy as well, but like there's also so much more going on behind the scenes. I don't really, like I said, I don't really agree that Instagram and social media is always a highlight reel, because it's not that it's intentionally a highlight reel for me, it's just that there's a lot of things I can't and won't discuss online, so it becomes a highlight reel in a way. But I feel like if I kind of slip this conversation in here to say like, hey, there's still a lot going on in my life at the moment, and to not take all of these successes such as the good grades and the music coming out and all these things as like thinking that my whole life is together right now, because it's really not, and I'm going through a lot. Yeah, just keep that in mind when you're watching people's content, and I try my best to like be as honest and as open as I can be. Of course, there's still a lot that I just can't say. So that's kind of my late night chat. Wanted to chat books, life, and all things like that. Feeling existential because, you know, I'm getting sent home from work where it's like 45 degrees. I've never seen temperatures like this, and I've seen the temperatures rise a lot over just 10-12 years at this job, and like how much our environment has changed. Like I remember when I first started working there, like 35 degrees was like a very hot day, and now like 35 is the norm, and then 45 has happened a lot this summer. And so it's like with the climate and, you know, living in late stage capitalism is rough. All these gorgeous farm roads I drive by are being torn up and turned into condos and rec centers, and it's really sad. And I was talking to Swiss man one day, and he said like North American mindsets are a lot more like capitalist driven, because there's so many like parts of England where I'm like, wait, why isn't this under construction? Like I don't see a lot of construction, but I think they just kind of maybe reach a limit. I don't know. I don't know much about this stuff. The GTA, we build on every square inch of land that can possibly fit something. And if you live in the GTA, you'll know what I mean. It's a lot when you feel like the state of the world, along with like your internal life or like friendships and stuff, are all going through things. I know that that's just life, but as you get older, it just kind of gets harder in some ways. I wish I could say more and not be so vague, because I hate when people do that, when I'm like, I just want to know what you're talking about, but like I genuinely can't, because a lot of things that I wish I could discuss are like other people's things, you know? Like even if there's something involving my family, it's like I'd still have to air out someone else's dirty laundry in order to tell you something, you know? So I can't. But anyways, let's all just collectively give each other some love. I'm sending you good energy through the screen, and let's just keep going and take everything day by day. That's been helping me a lot. It's just thinking one day at a time. Just focus on what's in front of you and try your best to get through it. Love you all. Thank you for watching, and I hope to make more chill videos like this. I'm gonna go shower and take my makeup off, because I hate taking my makeup off over the sink. Everything's wet, it drives me nuts, the water's dripping everywhere. Hate it. So I'm gonna go shower, take this all off, and get into bed and read. I'm too tired to do school now, which I figured would happen, but good night.